So today in this video we are going to talk about the Mucor and Rhizopus species and the Pneumocystis jirovecii and Sporothhrix schenckii. So Mucor and Rhizopus species are the irregular, broad, non-septate hyphae branching at the wide angles. So you can also see in this figure they are the irregular, broad, non-septate hyphae branching at wide angles. So mainly this mucor causes the mucormycosis, and it is mostly occurred in the ketoacidotic diabetic or neutropenic patient. Neutropenic panic especially occurs in the leukemic patient. So if there is inhalation of spore, the fungi proliferate in the blood vessel walls and penetrate the cribriform plate and enter the brain. So it causes the mucormycosis. The rhinocerebral frontal lobe abscess and cavernocytous thrombosis are the severe diseases that are caused by this Mucor and Rhizopus species. The clinical features we find in this type of fungal infection is headache, facial pain, black necrotic eschar on the face is also present, and also there could be the cranial nerve involvement. You can also see in this figure is that there is black necrotic eschar is present on the face. The main treatment of this infection is surgical debridement and the amphotericin B or isavuconazole. Now let us talk about the Pneumocystis jirovecii. So the Pneumocystis jirovecii especially causes the Pneumocystis pneumonia and it causes the diffuse interstitial pneumonia. You can also see in this number A figure. So in this video, the number A figure, you can see the chest x-ray. In this chest x-ray, you can see the diffuse interstitial pneumonia that is occurring in the lung of the Pneumocystis jirovecii infected patient. So it is the yeast-like fungus. So it was originally classified as the protozoan, but later it was grouped as the group under the mycology. So the most infection are asymptomatic. In case of the immunosuppression, for example, in HIV/AIDS, it especially predisposes to diseases. So there is diffuse bilateral ground glass opacities on the chest imaging with the pneumaticele. You can see in the CT scan number V of this video, there is diffuse bilateral ground glass opacities on the CT scan. So the Pneumocystis pneumonia is diagnosed by the bronchoalveolar lavage or lung biopsy. So we can see in this number C figure, you can see that there is disc-shaped yeast seen on the methenamine silver stain of the lung tissue, or with the fluorescent antibody we can also diagnose the disease. So what is the treatment or the prophylaxis of this Pneumocystis jirovecii infection? We give the trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. We give atovaquone. We start prophylaxis when CD4 plus count drops to less than 200 cell per cubic millimeter in the HIV patient. Now let us talk about the Sporothhrix. So it causes sporotrichosis. It is the dimorphic fungus. So it exists as cigar-shaped yeast as 37 degrees Celsius in the human body and as hyphae with the spores in the soil. We also called it as the conodia. It lives on the vegetation when the spores are traumatically introduced into the skin. So typically by the thorn where we do the when the farmers do the grazing or do the sheep herding. So we also known as it as the rose gardener's disease, because while doing the gardening, especially when we get picked by the thorn, it get introduced in our body. So it causes the local pustules or ulcer with nodule along with draining lymphitis, which is also known. We also call it as the ascending lymphangitis. You can also see in this figure of the ascending lymphangitis. So disseminated disease is possible in the immunocompromised host. How do we treat this Sporothhrix infection? We give the itraconazole or potassium iodide. So potassium iodide is given only for the cutaneous or lymphocutaneous infection. Thank you. So in this video we discuss about the Mucor and Rhizopus species, Pneumocystis jirovecii and Sporothhrix fungal infection. I hope you understood this video on the opportunistic fungal infection. Thank you.